Welcome to Education Today. I'm Andrew Scholl, a junior at Katanning Senior High School. Today we're going to be talking about Katanning's hockey team, who are just one game away from winning it all. Here with us today is Miss Katie King, who is the coach of the boys hockey team. Welcome to Education Today. Could you please introduce yourself to our viewers?
Hi, I'm Katie King. I'm a teacher at Katanning High School and also a coach with the Katanning hockey team.
Nice to meet you. Explain how you balance your relationships with your players as students and with your players on the ice.
I think as a teacher and a coach, the two complement each other. It works out very well. I'm familiar with the kids and some of the stuff they go through at home, in the school, so I know what they're dealing with on a personal level, on the school level, and also as a team. So it gives me a chance to get to know them, at school and at home. And also helps me at school. I think it gives me a better relationship with some of the students to realize that I do more than just teach. They get used to seeing me. I think I have some of the football players calling me coach all the time, so that adds it adds some fun to the class too.
Yeah. Describe the hockey team in one word and explain why you picked that word.
I would say dedicated. The guys spend all year working. They start in the summer. We start off-ice training. We'll train all summer. And if you really look at our season, it's almost a year-round sport. We start in September with on-ice, and it runs through March. So, if you look at the fall sports, overlap with it, the winter sports overlap with it, and then we also get into the spring sports. So if you look at the length of time that these guys are committing to it, it's a lot longer than really any of the other sports as far as the regular season goes. Plus they're playing two teams at the same time, so these guys are putting in a lot of time. Even when we have practice, if they can get on the ice an hour early, they're out on the ice working on individual skills. So the guys are really dedicated to getting better, and when they can work out on their own, they're working out on their own. So they really put in a lot of time. It's not just us, it's they put in the time on their own, and they put in the time to play two teams, to get as much ice time as they can, and to really play year-round.
What was your most enjoyable memory of this season?
I think it had to be beating Mars. That was a big step for our team. That was an important win. Obviously, they went on to win it all, so they are a good team. They were undefeated up until that point. We had beat some teams. We had shown that we were a good team. But that was a point that we had shown how good we were, that we were able to beat them. Plus, it was also the atmosphere of the game. Anybody who was there can say, the crowd was awesome. The atmosphere on the bench was a lot of fun, and the emotion on the bench was a lot of fun. So overall, it was a fun experience to get that win, especially at home. Really was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm sure the fans were all fired up.
They always are.
Describe some of the values of your hockey team.
I think one of the biggest things we want to do is really preach to put the team first. It's really easy to get caught up in the points, who's scoring the most goals and those sort of things, who's getting their name in the paper the most, but realistically that's not the most important thing. For us, we preach we want to win, and you got to do what it takes to win, whether it's blocking a shot or the little things that don't show up in the score sheet. We want to preach to them that it comes down to doing whatever it takes to win for the team, and if whatever your role on the team is, buying into that. So that's one of the big things, is really putting the team first. Also, the value of hard work. At every time, all the time, you have to put in your hardest effort, whether it be at practice, off-ice conditioning, in a game, just putting your best effort, because that's what's going to help the team in the long run.
Interesting. Okay, we're going to take another short commercial break, and we will be back with more Armstrong School District's Education Today.
Before I came to IUP, I had no idea what college would be like, or what role I would play, or where I'd be in the future. But when I came to IUP, everything changed. I met people who really made me feel like I belonged. I had great classes at a great nationally ranked university. Hi, my name's Megan Miller. I'm a fine arts major, and this is my university.
And we're back with more Education Today. I'm here with Miss Katie King, coach of Katanning hockey teams, the hockey team. And describe the team's motto, whatever it takes, we walk together.
It goes along with the values of the team. It goes along with the team aspect, which is the we walk together. Whatever it is, good, bad, we're a team, and we have to accept that wherever we are, we're a team, and whatever we've done, it goes along with the team aspect. And whatever it takes, we have to work hard. Again, it's on ice, it's practicing, it's off ice, it's working hard there, and also it's during a game. It's not just the goals. It's in the defensive zone. It's killing penalties. It's blocking shots. It's doing little things to make sure that whatever it takes, we are going to win the game as a team. That's what we really want to preach with these guys.
And how did the team progress from the beginning to the end of the season?
We had an interesting group this year. We had a lot of seniors, but also we had a lot of younger guys contributing. So it was a different mix. So at the beginning of the year, we didn't really know what to expect. And I don't think a lot of people knew what to expect out of us. If you really look at the preseason rankings, really most people didn't have us higher than 4 or 5. I think we overcame some of the early jitters. I think we were a little bit nervous at the beginning of the year with some of the younger guys. And then I think as we progressed, we started to change. We started to develop as a team. We started to grow as a team, working together more, focusing more on defense, those sort of things. The things that will help us win. I think we started to buy into some of the systems that we were trying to push through. And as we progressed, especially the younger guys, really grew into really good players. You knew what you were going to get out of the older guys, but the younger guys really had to develop in order for us to be successful.
All right. How do you feel about being a female coach?
That's something that's always interesting for a lot of people, I think. With this team this year, it was really comfortable. I was just actually one of the other coaches. I was just like any of the other guys that were on our team. The first year, I think it was a little bit less comfortable. Not so much for me, but for the team. I don't think they knew what to expect out of me. Obviously, with my brother as the head coach, he knew what to expect, and he put me right in, and he told the guys, I knew what I was talking about, just to expect the same out of me as what you would get out of somebody else. But for them, I don't think they knew what to expect. I knew what to expect, though, because I played on guys' teams my whole life. I played on the JV teams and the high school teams. So I knew exactly what to expect out of being around boys. I knew exactly what to expect. For them, I think they were a little bit tentative at first, but each year it got a little bit better. Now with these guys, I've been around them for 3 years. I think they're almost more comfortable around me than they are out of anybody else, because I'm around them at school, I'm around them after school, I'm around them now at practice too. So sometimes I think they forget I'm even there a lot of times. So it's pretty normal, I think, for them. I think the biggest thing is when we go to other arenas, play teams that we haven't played before, you kind of get some looks like, is she really a coach?
Yeah.
That's where you kind of get the shock. But with our team, with our guys, it's just like anybody else.
Interesting. Explain the team's success throughout the season.
Again, I think it was, we did well. We grew each game. Beginning of the year, we expected to do well. I think overall, we expected ourselves to do well. Coming into it, we set a goal that we wanted to do well right from the beginning. Did everybody else expect us to do well? Probably not. They looked at us and they said, you graduated 4 defensemen, you graduated your top scorer, you graduated your goalie. What are you really going to have coming back this year? So, for them, they didn't really expect that much out of us. But as the season went on, I think we really developed into a team. I think once we hit the Christmas tournament, we really did well with beating a couple AAA teams, a couple good AA teams, ones that did really well in the playoffs with Upper St. Clair, Montour teams that were some of the top-ranked teams in AA and AAA. And then we got into the tough part of our schedule, which was Sarah Catholic, Mars, and that's what showed us where we really were. And we changed a lot of our philosophies. We really emphasized defense. We really emphasized penalty kill. And that's not the fun part for anybody. Offense is always the fun part. But I think the guys really bought into it, and they saw that it really was helping. So as we progressed through the season, I think we got better as a team. And I think we became more focused on what we needed to do to win.
Well, that's fantastic. Now we're going to take a deeper look in Kataning's hockey team.
The 2010-2011 Katanning hockey team had a great season with a combined record of 27-5-1, including quality wins over A state champion Mars and AAA state champion Upper St. Clair.
What was your guys' favorite win from this season?
My favorite win of this season would definitely have to be Mars, being that they were the 2-time defending state champion coming into this season, and no one thought we were going to beat them, and it was a good win.
What was it like to lose in the semifinals 2 years in a row?
It was real heartbreaking, you know. After losing the first year, I always thought I'd have my second chance, and I did, but still lost that one, so that one hurt a little bit worse, but never got to the big one.
It really hurt to lose 2 years in a row. Last year and this year, we didn't really expect to lose. We just expected to win it all because we were one of the top 2 seeds both years. But after we lost, it was just like heartbreaking 2 years ago. But this year it was even worse because we don't have another chance for us seniors, so it was hard.
What was it like to be the defensive leader of the team this year?
I really had to step up this year and be a leader because last year the team lost 4 defensemen, and we had 4 new ones coming in, and I was the only one, so I had to show those guys some stuff to do, and they really did a good job of accepting those roles.
All right, now let's take a look at some of the season's top highlights. Katanning hasn't sustained a loss at home since 2008 and owe a lot of their credit to their wild student section that averages over 200 fans and students alone.
What was the atmosphere like in the crowd?
It was crazy. It was intense. Just 2 words to describe the atmosphere that the Katanning Wildcat hockey game.
What was your favorite costume?
Personally, I thought one of the craziest ones was one of my friends dressed up as a pregnant nun. That was pretty nuts.
I'd have to say craziest costume I ever seen was a kid dressed up as a present that said 2 women from God on it. So that was pretty funny.
Yeah, it's pretty radical.
How did your family influence your decision to become a coach, seeing as your father and brother also coach?
We've always been a hockey family. My dad he never played hockey, but he really started to take up the game when we started playing. My brother started at the age of 4. I then started skating at the age of 4. So he really took it up and started coaching and learned the game as we learned it. So as a family, we've grown together. We've watched the game together. I don't think you can sit with our family and somehow hockey not be discussed. That's, when a hockey game's on, that's what we're watching on TV. We've traveled. We've watched every level, college, juniors. We go to Penguin games together, and that's really all we talk about, I think, at our house. So hockey has always been a big part of it. We love the game, and they've put that into me. They've instilled that into me. So what you see is they've developed that into me too. And they've also always treated me the same, as going back to the female, they've never treated me differently or talked to me differently as a female than they expected as if I was male. They treat me exactly the same. And then with my brother getting the head coaching job, that's what gave me the opportunity to coach boys varsity. I don't know that I would have gotten that opportunity without him being the head coach. But it's something I always wanted to do. I always wanted to be involved in hockey. I, wanted to continue on. That's kind of the next step after you're done playing is to get involved with coaching. It's fun with teaching. I think that's something that complements each other very well. So it was an easy decision with my dad and brother being involved. It's something that we love to do as a family. And it's something that we take a lot of time and pride in, is continuing to learn the game and developing the game. So they had a big influence on it from an early age, and not just with coaching, but also just in general, the love of the game and playing the game.
Well, you said you started skating at age 4. What initially interested you in playing hockey?
Just following in my brother's footsteps. If you look at it, my brother started at the age of 4. He was 3 years older than me, so I was about 1 at the time. But I was watching him. I was going to the rink with him, from an early age. Started watching him. He started, he skated for 2 years and then started playing about the age of 6. That put me around the age of 3. So I was at the rink. We have a lot of pictures of us at home with our hockey. I'm wearing his hockey equipment by the time I was the age of 3. And, I love sports from an early age. We were always outside, always throwing a ball around of some sort, always, hitting something, whether it was a baseball or a hockey puck, whatever. So just kind of following his footsteps, watching him play, and then that got me interested.
Describe your hockey career and all your success.
For me, I was very fortunate because I started at a young age. I think the earlier, as with anything, the earlier you start, the better opportunities you have. I started at the age of 4. I started skating. By the age of 6, I was playing in some of the in-house leagues and the younger amateur teams. As I mentioned, I played boys pretty much my whole way up through high school. I played on the Armstrong teams, which are the local teams out of the Belmont. Then I started, by 7th grade, I started playing for the Katanning, the freshman teams, and the JV teams. In high school, I started playing girls. 10th and 12th grade, I played on some travel teams for girls. And then I also came back in 11th grade and played for our JV team because there wasn't a lot of good opportunity for girls when I came through, especially in Pittsburgh area. So I had a lot of good opportunities when I was younger. I started playing at a young age. I had some good camps and different things. I played in Hockey Night in Boston between my junior and senior year, which was a week long. You made a team and then you went and played. I played on the, I think it was Great Lakes team. We went up and we played against teams all around the country. You didn't practice with them, you just went up and played. So it was a good experience. Then I made a decision to go to Penn State, which was a great decision for me. Again, there wasn't as many opportunities as there is today for girls, unless you really had the opportunity to play somewhere else. So I went on to play at Penn State. We had a lot of success when I was there. It was club, but Division I, the Division I offers, I had a couple, but I just decided that club was probably my best choice at that point in time. Division III and club were kind of interchangeable at that point. So I made the decision to go to Penn State as much for the academics as for going to Division III, going to a smaller school in upstate New York didn't really interest me. So I went to Penn State. We were a club team. We were very competitive. I think the best we did was 3rd place in nationals. Losing to Wisconsin, I think, was the only team we lost to there. But we beat teams like Michigan State and Michigan that year. So a lot of the teams in club were the schools that you would recognize today as being some of the hockey powerhouses. So we did very well. I was very successful during my career. I hold a couple different records at Penn State. But a lot of it goes back to my experience playing my whole life and also my experience with my family, knowing the game as well as anybody else. I think as much as I was talent-wise, it was probably that I was smarter than a lot of the girls I played with. And I attribute it to that as much as anything else, a lot of my success.
Explain how the KHS hockey team is more of a family than a team.
Once you're a member of the Katanning hockey team, you always are. If you look at it, there's a lot of tradition there. There's a lot of success through the years. There's been very few losing seasons. Playoffs is kind of expected. That's what we're expected to get to. It's not, it's almost like a right. You really expect to get there. So with being a part of Katanning hockey, you're a part of it once you've played. Whether you play now, you played 10 years ago, you played in the 70s, everybody's part of it. So if you look at our games, anytime you come to one of our games, you look in the stands, you also see people who played in the 90s. You see people who played in the 80s. You run into people in the street, they're asking about your team. They know the names of the guys on the team. So everybody is still a part of the team. Everybody continues to be the part of the team after they graduated. It is kind of like a family atmosphere. playing at the Belmont, you spend so much time there. You get to know the rink staff. You get to know the people who work the booth. You spend so much time with those people over the course of the years that they do become somewhat like a family to you. Whether it's just the team or it's also the people that work there too.
How do you feel the loss of your seniors will affect the team?
Obviously, this is a tough loss for us this year. I think we lose 8 seniors, your top 4 scorers, also one of your top defensemen. So we're losing a number of guys who have contributed for 3-4 years now. So you're losing a lot of your top players. But this is something that you go through every year. Any team is going to have to do it in high school. So it's always tough. You hate to see these guys go, and not only as their skill, but also as their leadership. That's one of the tough things to replace. These guys have been leaders on the team for 2-3 years now too. They're committed. They work hard. What you hope is that the younger guys have watched them develop, have watched what they have done, the work ethic that they brought to the team, and you hope that younger guys step up and can fill those roles. It's tough, but every year you kind of go through it. Every year you say, how are you going to replace this guy? And every year you have to, and every year somebody has to. And what you hope is that the younger guys have learned from the older guys.
What is your reaction toward how the season ended?
Obviously disappointed. We really had high expectations for this team. We really thought this could be a year that we should have won it all. But at the same time, it can't take away from what we did. We had a successful season. We beat a lot of really good teams. And we really thought we were one of the best teams in the area. And we proved it with some of the wins that we did have. Unfortunately, it comes down to we had a bad game at the wrong time. And, should we have won? Probably. But at the same time, you can't take away some of the wins that we did have based on one game. So, disappointed, yes, but still proud of what we did throughout the course of the year.
Do you have anything else to add or benefit for our viewers?
I don't think so. I think we're good.
All right. Okay, we are out of time for today. Our thanks go out to Miss Katie King, who took time out of her schedule to be with us today. Our thanks also go out to the TV production students of Katanning Senior High School, led by their teacher, Mr. Don Swanson. They were our film crew today. Please join us again next week for another look at an Armstrong School District. Visit our website for updated information about the district, and have a great week.